So we're back with another episode with Xanthia with our Jewish conversion playthrough. So restarted the game. See, I can afford a military tradition. I won't buy it yet. And I've got these free migrants. I'm going to leave them out in case I need to fight. Okay. So we have set our trade. We've got some weird dynamics going on. Looks like people are trying to grab money. But at this point, what we want to do, check our capital. There's only 7 pops here. We probably want to wait until the Parnia fire. We can do another sacrifice. Okay. So, from one clan to another, one of our clan chiefs, Arawanta Vaide, has suggested moving some of the people of the clan Prabhase Kosika to his rule instead. Not only would they be under a new ruler that would be more loyal to us, but he has also promised to maximize the productivity of the people under his rule. Prabhase Kosika, on the other hand, has made no such promises, yet simply moving people out of his clan's lands would be seen as aggressive action. So this is something to gain centralization. So we can take a look at the loyalty. We can gain loyalty, we lose money and political influence, and gain some centralization. Well, yeah, that's fine. So our centralization is low. It changes by 0.05. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do, capital, it's good to have lots of people. Since we're in a holding pattern right now. And we're waiting on this Parnia event to fire to see what happens with them and the Seleucids. So I'm going to settle some of these pops here. Nobody can declare war on me, so we're pretty safe. We've got room for 13. We've got 17. So let's make sure that they're able to defend themselves. So we'll settle 7. So we got 5 pop stack. And like I said before, the barbarians will come out of these areas. You can see that this is a high spawn chance because it's 0.10. So they come out of here often, and we'll let them come. So Scandal is unfortunately part of Average Day and Xanthi Council. So this husband is cheating with her against his wife. So usually I say this is none of our business. We'll lose some popularity, lose some loyalty. That's fine, as long as we check, see if we're scheming influence. Yeah, we are. So we'll let that ride. So there we go. So we're here with Xanthia. While we're waiting, we can check around the world. See, the Bosphorian Kingdom is intending to swallow up Albania. That'll bring them in conflict with Armenia pretty soon. The Seleucids, they're pretty quiet right now. They did their business in Anatolia, and they're just laying low. And Tigonids are just a big mess. Macedon's there. Rome is occupying Etruria. They'll control the northern part of the Italian peninsula pretty soon. And they've also wiped out Epirus. And so they're on their way and taking the Balkan Peninsula as well. Thrace has enlarged themselves. The Gydia are in pretty good shape. Carthage took out Syracuse, which is left to this one territory. So that should set up a pretty good showdown between Carthage and Rome in the future. Mysia is in a big revolt. Looks like. Oh, Massaia has expanded. I wonder if they're still a client of Carthage. No, they freed themselves and they're staying free. It looks like Carthage lost these lands to Turdantia. It's interesting. So Carthage tends not to do well in these games. And then South Egypt, Kush has expanded dramatically. That's pretty good. Nabatea's what Nabatea's been. So I can choose a new omen. So once again, I'm going to go with the stability. I just want that really high so that when I start making my migratory units, I don't drop below 50. So let's see the Moria. Alright, the Moria, they're taking out Kalinga, which historically was the last war that the Morians fought. The Kalinga being the most formidable opponent, and they couldn't take them on until they had the power of the peninsula. So they're taking them out early here. But like I said, this is not historical or meant to be. So it just is what it is. Okay. So stockpile disappears. It has come to our attention that a substantial amount of the state food stockpiles of the province of Atara have seemingly disappeared overnight. The whereabouts of the supplies are still debated. Some claim a group of asserted Sardonian merchants swindled an incompetent clerk. Others that a vengeful god spirited them away in anger. In any case, the reserves are severely diminished. So I don't know where Sardonia is. Typically, I like to heads will roll here. It gives you a little popularity. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to spend 66 gold. I've got a nice little bank account here, and I'd like to keep that growing in case I need to hire mercenaries. And with my ruler's charisma at 0.07, tyranny goes down really fast. One thing to note here, you'll see number of deified rulers, it gives you 0.04 tyranny. So one thing to be careful about if you're playing as a Jewish country and you put in all of the you fill all the slots with Jewish deities, you will notice that if you get a ruler and he has less than 0.04 charisma, and the tribal chief function goes to 0 as well, then your tyranny will naturally rise. So I've had that happen before, where I'd have high tyranny due to certain events, and then it just kept rising and it never went down, and your ruler just has to die. Okay, so I'm going to get another event, increase the stability. So you can see my stability is now at 84, which is just amazing, and it's rising. You can see here the party have expanded, and charisma is reduced this little bit. The party, I think they'll have to take out these guys for the war to fire, or it may happen based on the date. I'm not sure. But one thing we can check out is how's the religion doing. You can see it's pretty good. So these are, low population areas, so they'll convert really fast. Seems our settlement of Bingad in Transarcania has shown a lack of faith in prayers lately, dropping up to several of the prayers of the day. They're starting to show the faithfulness of our polytheistic neighbors, as well as an interest in their religion. Ari Runde Veda wants us to send emissaries to the city to get them back on track. After all, we all know what happens to the cities who leave the hand of God to stop worshiping false idols. So with this event, you can spend influence to get loyalty from this guy, or you gain population happiness, lose local manpower, and it'll revert the religion. So I don't want to revert the religion, so I'll spend the PI and get the influence. So that's Jewish, and let's see, you can see that the Dahai are slowly taking over, which will help us for migration and for levies. So we'll give it the 480, and then we can see about expanding. We'll probably expand this way towards Scythia, get some more territory in this province here, and then work our way into this province as well. We can take over Scythia, it's not hard. In the Bosphorian Kingdom, they're going to have trouble with the Armenians. So disagreement on the highest level. Prabhase Kosika, a man of sound reputation, and Rizvaram Kadota, a nobleman of great virtue, have recently started to spar furiously, whilst attending the clan council. Such behavior is unbecoming of these people of stature. However, we have been called upon to take a side in this latest conflict. So you get this event often. So I usually side with the guy with the lower loyalty. So we don't have loyalty issues with this high stability, no aggressive expansion or exhaustion. We'll be fine. You can see there our population. It's one other reason to keep your stability high as these migratory tribes. These areas, you can see in population math mode, it's low population. So the lighter the shade of green, right, the more population. So you can see these cities down here have lots. We have very little. When you zoom out, you can see where the populations are. One reason Rome is so powerful is because there's so many pops on the Italian peninsula, and this is fairly historically accurate. It was heavily populated. One thing to note about this region, Rome and particularly Tuscany, is it gets the most hours of sunshine for any region on the European continent. That combined with the fact that a lot of these soils, as you may know, are volcanic soils, volcanically rich, makes the land extremely fertile. So it can support a large population. So centralization efforts. So they want us to centralize, and we're not going to waste resources. This guy will become disloyal, but he doesn't have a large power base. So I'm not worried about his loyalty really, and I don't want to spend the money. It will still add to the centralization, but we're still going down. Now, if you wanted to convert to monarchy, this would be a good time to set your centralization higher, or pass a law to get it going up. So prosperity under the guidance of Rizvan Kadota is to go from strength to strength. Some of our advisors are recommending institution of new tax. Taxes surely nobody will notice. No, we're going to take the stability. So now we're almost at 90. We'll do another divine sacrifice, even though we don't need to. And you can see it's just stable at 89.7, which is incredible. So we need a new elder who gives us national tribes and happiness. This guy's got a 9 martial. We may want to keep him around to fight. And this guy's got a 3. So I'm going to go with this guy. So that's one thing to check out when you place people in positions, because you need your generals. So we got some barbarians from over here. Now they're coming through. They're sacking. One thing to do before I would fight a war is I would build forts on these river crossings, because then enemies can't go from either side. So this one is why not to get some loyal subject. It gives you PI and we lose stability, which is fine. I'll take it. You see here we're still at 80 and we're going up. So that'll be great when we want to migrate. So Parnia is completely swallowed Shomeria. So now's the time where they will probably go after Sild and Bersuria now that they've eliminated that enemy. So we'll see how that goes. So what I usually do is I wait until enough pops have migrated to fill this up. As you can see the migration, they're coming. So here's the event I've been waiting for. Drum roll, please. The beating of hooves. In the far-flung lands where the wild Scythians ride. Hey, I don't think we're that wild. There are rumors of war. A bright star has appeared promising the Dahai a new home amongst the lands to the south, and messengers from around bring word of preparations in the steppe. We would be wise to consider our situation. Even the stoic Greek kings should fear this threat, and an invasion of the promised magnitude has the potential to destabilize the world as we know it. So this is the start of the event. You can see their tribal chief for the Parnia. He's pretty damn good. 9, 4, 10, 10. Not that it'll make a big difference, but they're coming, and so our eyes remain on the high horizon. It says the Dahai have become increasingly bellicose. For the next 20 years, they will have access to the Imperial Challenge War Goal, allowing for rapid conquest of countries that are major power rank or higher. Kasuri becomes a client state of Parthia. So what the Imperial Challenge War Goal is, it's kind of like the opening Daheldachi War, where you can take land easily, like as soon as you occupy it, it becomes your territory. Unfortunately, it gives you negative impact to aggressive expansion. Well, increases your aggressive expansion and increases your war exhaustion. So if you do it too much, then your aggressive expansion will go through the roof. One of the reasons, bountiful harvests, I will take the gold. One of the reasons why I didn't want to come back here and just conquer this area, Parnia, and then conquer Parnia in general and Pasuria, is because as soon as you do that, I believe that challenge fires. And if you don't have enough troops, the Seleucids will definitely come prepared, and Bactria will make war in Parthia. But we will see what will happen with this. Parnia should declare war shortly. Ever-changing council. So Arawanta Vaide has supposedly come across a foreign agent at court, and he is heavily advising us to close the court down. Not only would it limit the potential dangerous elements that can approach our esteemed ruler, Satyake Kadota, but it would also give him the space necessary to make the correct decisions. As Arawanta Vaide has already done a lot of work necessary to change our council, it simplifies the rest of the process for us, though the real question lies in if we should listen to his advice or not. So what this is asking to institute a law. So this closed society, integrate culture happiness goes up and centralization will go down. So if I go to the laws, you can see here, the law he is asking for is closed society, which is this one. Now, that's not bad. It's not a bad law. I would rather have oral tradition, but I've never seen an event fire that allows you to select that. And that will increase pop assimilation speed, plus 30%. And actually, because of this high stability, I think I will take that now. And that'll convert the pops faster, or assimilate them faster. And because they're the same culture group, they should go pretty fast. And I will say no to that because I chose the other law. You can see I'm still at 65% stability. 65 stability, and it's going up by 0.23 every month. So that's one reason I say the stability, so I can take that law, and it keeps my pop happiness and growth up. And you can see here, so I've been asked to colonize this area, which is right next to the Bosphorian Kingdom. So they're at war with Armenia, so it's not a bad idea to colonize there, because then I could declare war on the Bosphorian Kingdom at the same time and take their land. So let's see if we can do that. Now, their land is in Albania, but they have land in Taurika too. And if they're busy fighting the Armenians, it should be a relatively easy victory. So let's see. So colonize. So now I'll let the game go for a little bit. You can go to your government, and I don't have to, I can make an instant claim if I summon the War Council and see what it says. Fostering Kingdom, there it is. Okay, so now if I take a look at my levies, I can see I have 13 cohorts here, 4 cohorts and 4 cohorts. So I don't have a lot of troops. Now they are occupied, but I will take advantage and raise my levies, raise migratory units. So I'll go here to the capital, 17 of 20. Yeah, I've got citizens, but I don't really care. And I will move in all of the non-Dahai pops first. So let's see what happens. One thing you have to be careful about is you can get it where you've got too many pops, but the dominant culture is not yours. So you can see here the Thessagetians are at 9 and I'm at 12. So I can only afford to move 3 more before I have to start moving to high. But if there are Scythians out there, I'll definitely move those guys in. But so there's a Scythian, and here's another Scythian, and another. And now I can move in 3 Thessagetians. I'll go with a high population area. So there's 1. He's Jewish. I'll leave him there. There's 2. And that's 3. So now I've gotten to 29. I'm still, but my dominant religion is now not Jewish. So, but I've got, let's see, 10 pops there, and this is at 29. So if I put the 10 down, that's 39, but I want 41, and then I can do 2 migratory units. So I'll go to the well-populated place, move to the high. Okay. And now I am Jewish, and I've got 31 to 20. If I settle, I have 41 to 20, and I can pull out 2 migratory units. Okay, so move them down there. One thing to look at is look at other territories. You can click on the territory, the province, and then take a look. I've got 12 Jewish, 12 Heptadic, and 24, so it's not worth it moving any migratory units here. I've got 60, 33 Thegesian, and 33 Heptadic. So since I'm going to war, and there's 60 pops in this region, I might as well try to make them, there's 57 here, I might as well try to make 2 more migratory units. You can never be too careful. In this case, I need to move all the Jewish to high, because there's loads of Thessagetians. And while I'm fighting the war, these Jewish to high, the Thessagetians will convert and slowly assimilate. So, go there. I got there. Some more. Let's see. How many do I have now? Once again, you want to get over 20. So I need 1 more. So I should be able to move with this Thessagetian. Is there a well-populated one? So this one is 7 of 12. So I'll move one of those guys. Okay. So now it's the high Jewish. There's 21 pops. Migratory unit. Good. Now remaining in the region are 42. But there's 28 Thessagetians. So I'll just leave them there. Now, I come here, and I've got 25 to high, 19 Legion. So, move all to the high here, just to get another stack. Okay. So, I'll start with the slaves. They're cheaper. Okay. Keep going. Jewish to high. Jewish to high. Jewish to high. Okay, so how many pops do we have here now? 12. And usually I move them to the province capitals. I didn't do it this time for some reason. Just because it's there's a high population there. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So there we go. So now we've got 40 migratory units, and I've got several levies to call. Now the levies will have been reduced. You can see here 9 pops. It was 13, but in the other areas they don't get reduced. So yeah, I traded 3. My levy size became smaller by 3 units, but I got 40 migratory units, so I'm not that concerned about it. One last thing to do is look at mercs. So yeah, I don't have a lot of money, but I can fire 1 merc stack, and they're good to just get a little bonus and get some higher martial. So there's one here in Zev with 11, and he's 5.62 a month, and I make 5.175, so he would be good. But there's a better guy here at Vel. He's at 12 at 5.62. So now there are some with heavy infantry, which could be a good mix with me, but he's more expensive. Now this guy's in Faces, but that's so far away. I'd rather have this 12 guy in Vel. So recruit. Okay, now he'll start out with no morale, but he's exiled. Not a big deal. I'll just march him over here. And while he's marching, he'll restore his morale. And one thing to do, because Armenia and Bosphorus Kingdom are going at it. Okay, so since at a moment of weakness, the hordes of the Party wastes have descended upon the Seleucid lands as a pack of wolves would savage, a lamb. The attack came without warning, with Basilius Antiochus being amongst the first casualties, having been touring the border regions when the attack came. Seemingly not content with the apocalyptic turn of events, the nobles of the Seleucid realm have turned on one another, squabbling to determine a legitimate successor. Will the Titan of the East fall to ruin? Whoa. So one thing happens is that Parnia declared this war goal, and Antioch Seleucid is killed to get unregulated culture group happiness and loyalty of characters. Now, if you get this event and you make war on the Seleucid Empire, their levy size is also reduced. The morale of the armies is also reduced as well. So it's very powerful to kind of take a large chunk of land from the Seleucids. But like I said, you have to be prepared. And they lose their general here. So we'll say whoa, and we'll deal with it. So he's dead, and he was 9 martial. And if we go to the new leader, he's 4. And remember, he's ahead of the levy with a 4 martial, and the party picked the perfect time to attack because the Seleucids are at war with Egypt, Thrace, and the Nesiotic League. Let's see, Nesiotic League is in alliance with Egypt. So let's see. Usually it doesn't go well for Egypt, and it's not. But now, with the party on the other side, the Seleucids could be in trouble. They picked the perfect time to attack, actually. So what I like to do with the migratory hordes is, what I'll actually do is I'll take a break, and we'll come back to the strategy in the next episode. All right, thank you.